Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Squadcast. I promise, eventually, that's not going to sound weird.
I give it 2 years. Well, maybe not that.
Hey, you know, I mean, we're finally 7 years in, and the VOD Squad doesn't sound super ridiculous. It still sounds ridiculous, but it's ridiculous at this point.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, when I have to explain the VOD Squad to somebody, it is no longer sound weird coming out of my mouth, but I can see the visual effect on their face of like, what? Well, because they're still having to reprocess.
I think what you're seeing is the regret for asking the question. They immediately went, "What did I do? What did I get myself into?"
I'm in a podcast, and it's called the VOD Squad, and we talk about stuff on the internet. And they're like, "Oh God, what did I just do?"
Say video on demand, because that's VOD.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And at this point, that's pretty much what it is. We're talking about stuff.
Oh, really?
I know, but nothing in particular.
Yep.
Actually, one thing. So, if we go back over the last several years, we have kind of explored what the Rule of Clyde means.
Oh, may I try to define it for you?
Sure.
As far as I'm aware, the Rule of Clyde is an inverse reaction. The more Clyde something likes, the more the rest of the general populace dislikes. And so far, also, the more that something that Clyde dislikes in general, the rest of the world generally likes.
I wouldn't say the general populace, it's more critics. Because like if it, or the business people that make the decisions. Because there's a lot of things that I love that got canceled, and there are lots of people out there that either
also
loved it, or they didn't even know about it, and they would have loved it. So it's more, critics. I can pretty much guarantee that on Rotten Tomatoes, if I like something, it's terrible critics. But a lot of times you'll see the actual Rotten Tomato is good, or the audience score is high. It's taken a few years, but I have finally established that the Rule of Clyde extends into fantasy football.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's a little bit different in the fact that for the last 3 years that I've been in this league, every single year, whoever was in my first two picks has a season-ending injury in game 1.
Oh.
This year, I ended up with Aaron Rodgers. I have never once drafted Aaron Rodgers, nor would I ever have wanted Aaron Rodgers. But I was in class when the draft happened, so I auto-drafted, and I ended up with Aaron Rodgers as one of my first picks. And if you're not aware, he stepped on the field to play his first game with the Jets, and within the first couple plays, tore his Achilles tendon, and he is out for the season. Not only did he ruin their season, he has now ruined my season because my work league is so full. There are no viable options. I am now running Matt Stafford. And if any of you know, that is not good. So I
played fantasy football one time. I used a random player selector, and that's how I chose and I did probably significantly better than if I had tried to choose them myself, because I know nothing about pro football. I know the rules of football, and I enjoy watching.
I swear you were going to say rugby for a second.
I know the rules of rugby, but football confuses me. Actually,
See, and that's the thing is I've never been a fan of football. I think the game is kind of ridiculous. More from the standpoint of every single game takes several hours, yet the ball is actually in play a total of less than 3 minutes. People are literally killing themselves for 3 minutes worth of playing.
I don't know where you come up with that.
Yeah,
because each play only takes a few seconds. So if you add it together, it was the average football game. So the average, it's not every, but it's a total of 3 minutes that the ball is in play. When you add all those,
define in play, moving forward in somebody's hands.
Yeah. So when they call hike to when it's down.
Yeah, it's actually more than 3 minutes. I'm sure. I'm sure whoever told you that.
No, I looked it up a long time ago.
Did you find it on the internet?
It was an average.
It must be true. It must be true.
Yeah, it was. But but to my point, I don't get it. I've been playing fantasy football for, as a social thing. It used to be something I did with my dad and other work leagues and stuff. And I used to dominate. But yeah, something happened when I joined this league. And I think it's because this league is 14 people. And so there's literally, it's the biggest you can have. And there is literally nothing to choose from once everybody's drafted. It's almost, I feel like someone that works for Sony.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I have been. This last weekend was a chance for me and my wife and my son to recover from crazy week of getting ready for school, going off to vacation for wedding, and coming back to school, and finally getting to relax. And my wife said, "We're going to the movies." So I went out to the theater and watched a movie this weekend. It was her choice. So chick flick away. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 was actually halfway decent. Many laughs interjected in the correct moments. It was funny. It was good.
Yep. Oh, okay. And I'm just now realizing. So when I saw that there was a new My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I kept thinking, my mind was equating it to that Mamma Mia movie.
No.
and I kept going, why do they keep making more of these? But no, now that I'm realizing what it is, I can see that that's probably decent.
Yeah, and this one is mostly in Greece, which, if you know the movies, basically the thing about trilogies, if they're done well, the first one is good, the second one does the first one better, and the third one does something else. This follows that kind of philosophy. It is something else. It's fine. It's an average movie. It's perfectly acceptable, and it's got laughs in it. It was enjoyable, and it's not so horrible that you would hate going to watch it if somebody asked you to go. So that's what I gotta say. It's fun. It's good to get. We've been going out to the movies a lot this year, which I'm so happy about, to actually have movies to go to. Although now, thanks to writers' strike, we may not have very many more movies for a while.
See, people keep getting hung up on this writers' strike. You got to remember, not everybody is part of the union. There are plenty of independent creators out there that are still creating stuff. And it's good stuff. So, screw the union.
My thoughts are a little different, because the vast majority of people that have stuff that is produced in the United States or by U.S. companies is is in the union, but I think there's kind of two other sides of it. The stuff that is written today is predominantly like for stuff that is either going to be produced in a notable amount in the future or for a syndicated TV show, right? So if they're currently writing, then they're probably currently writing for like the next season of a TV show, not like for
But all I'm getting at is there are non-union options out there that are creating, and if something runs out, tough, sucks for them. There's other stuff coming. There's other stuff out there, you know?
Yeah, and my point though was that like there's a lot of stuff that's already been written.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's a back catalog, so to speak, of lots of. So that's not a problem. I do expect, like, if you look back and remember back to the writer's strike, what was it in like 2000?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't watching TV in 2000.
Something. I would say it was somewhere in the mid aughts. There was
one around 06.
Yeah,
I remember
08.
I remember that. When did Heroes come out? Because there was one while Heroes was airing, and before the strike, the show was great. Then, after the strike, the show was horrible.
Yeah, the strike happened in 08. The show Heroes premiered in September of 2006.
Okay, so it was 08. Yeah, no, it was yeah, okay.
So I mean, I think the reason that strike had an impact on shows and movies for a little while was my understanding, because if union writers weren't used, then union producers and union actors and union grips and stuff, they wouldn't participate in the production.
Yeah.
So the unions succeed by all of the different Hollywood related unions working together.
But that was also a completely different landscape. There was no streaming. Your only choice was to go to the theater or watch it on a major network. And those major networks were not incentivized to search out independent stuff or that, you know, and potentially piss off the union. Now they're getting everything they can from anywhere, and we have all the options. So who cares? They can go on strike and stay on strike. That's their fault. That's their problem, not mine.
It might not be as significant as it was back in 08. I do think I do remember then there being a bit of a lull in stuff for, like, I think it kind of stretched through most of 08.
Remember, there was that was when because the strike was going on for TV in particular, not necessarily movies. We started getting a lot more reality TV because it didn't require any writers, and so the boom of reality TV happened because of that. And I don't. If you ask me, that was not great.
Yes. Curse the writer's strike for giving us a burst of reality TV, for sure. The one thing I remember coming out of that I liked was Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. I enjoyed that quite a lot, and that was a product of the writer's strike.
See, we get good stuff from that. Yeah, I mean, you get people crying about it. I don't think it's an issue, and I really don't care. I don't, you know, and but well, what else did you have, Matt?
Well, I got a couple news stories we can talk about if you want.
Do we still do news?
Oh, not as much as we used to, but a little bit. Do
Okay.
you want to talk about?
Well, I maybe. Well,
Okay,
hit me.
well-
Hit me.
All right, YouTube Music. That awesome, alternative to Spotify, and
That nobody
that-
uses.
I love YouTube Music. It's great.
Okay. Okay. That
2 out of 3
they use.
users use YouTube Music. That's a scientific survey. 66% of people use YouTube Music. You're in the minority.
Well, I guarantee Jimmy doesn't use it.
Yep.
So that's 50% and declining.
YouTube Music's now got a new feature they're adding. Those always adding those cool new features. This new feature is something you knew you'd wanted: YouTube comments.
Huh?
No. Seriously, they're adding YouTube comments. So for a limited few people, they're giving access to YouTube comments, but only on playlists for now.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
when you have
I can see a comment on a playlist. You want to give someone props or say, hey, why didn't you completely
this
drop the
song.
ball when you forgot such and such? Yeah, no, that makes sense. Leaving comments on actual songs sounds ridiculous.
I know this band sucks. Oh, geez, guys.
Well, you already can do that. It's called Twitter.
Wait, not anymore. It's not called that anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
but we can continue to call it Twitter, like the rest of the internet is.
Like everybody else is still doing Twitter/X and then Twitter from then on. Yeah, I don't know what the real value of this would be. I think, I don't use YouTube Music myself, except when I'm in my car listening to music. So what I use regular YouTube on my TV. I use regular YouTube on my computer. So it's really just if I'm listening to music via earbuds or in my car. So I'm not going to comment then anyways. Seems completely unwanted and unuseful.
The social part, being able to make some comments, that may be unused by you. That's true.
It's only really important to people that actually use playlists, because their playlists are available on Spotify, but I have never once had the urge to message the playlist creator because I don't listen to other people's playlists.
Right.
Unless it's like a group, like if the 3 of us were like, hey, let's throw our favorite songs, or I want to share with you. I've got a couple of those playlists, but you know how I'm going to respond to the owner? I'm going to either call them or send them a text on my phone.
Exactly.
And be like, hey, that's stupid. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah. And to my point, right?
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't get this.
wants and nobody will use this.
But no, there
I'm sure
are
there's
people.
some people.
There are people that live in playlists. And, hey, I like anime music. So you go out and you find best 90s anime songs. You've got people that compile. And there are people that put a lot of work into curated playlists.
Mhm.
And for that reason, being able to give them feedback, I think, is a good thing. I just don't see myself ever using it, nor it doesn't sound like you guys would.
Yeah, I think
We're not the intended demographic.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, and to your point, I don't comment in normal comment sections. I don't live in the comment section of anything or anywhere. So yeah, you're probably right. It's just not me.
See, and when it comes to YouTube, I am very careful, but it's just me. I'm the type of person that I only comment if I feel that the comment will be valuable. I don't do the, hey, thumbs up, or,
Right.
this episode's fire. But I will say this feature probably only appeals to people that use the word fire and are not in any way affiliated with a fire department.
Oh, okay.
I had to
you, though.
move myself out of that
Exactly.
Venn diagram. So what else?
Well,
What else is going on?
So Sony's announced their $2,000 PlayStation Portal.
Wait,
This is a
2,000? I thought it was 200.
I'm sorry, $200.
I was like, whoa,
$2,000. It's
a $2,000 PSP.
Yeah, this is their handheld device that has the controllers like a standard PlayStation 5, but the center has been replaced with a moderately sized LCD screen.
Basically, it's like what, like a 5.5, 6-inch cell phone screen.
It's actually probably a little bigger, more like an 8-inch small tablet kind of thing. But it's 1080p, and it is able to display the games that are currently playing on your PlayStation 5, streamed over Wi-Fi to the device. And so I do know it does work within the same household. I think it also can work outside your household as well, so you could play your games when you're not at home there either. So,
okay. So let me get this straight.
Mhm.
It doesn't play games natively.
No.
So you must own a PS5.
Yes, you must.
In order to use this. So if you have a PS5, you most likely have a decent screen.
Probably.
Why the hell would you want to play that expensive PS5 on a little tiny screen across your home network? People are not known for having good home networks.
I can tell you exactly why. Well, that's true. There's a network.
I mean, sure, if you're like your son gets grounded and he goes to his room and then he pulls out his PSP and starts playing the thing. But why? Why would you want this?
The exact reason why is because lots of people like to play their games and then, oh well, it's almost time for bed, and go crawl into their bed and keep playing the game on their portable. It happens a lot. Seriously. So you have your big TV set up for the big screen with the big sound system, your really expensive PlayStation 5, and come on, it's only $200 for a little thing to let you keep playing the game for a couple more minutes before you fall asleep with it flat on your face. You know, whatever. It's all good. It's wonderful.
I don't get this. I was at first when I saw there was a new PSP and it was $200. I said, I'm listening. Yeah. I still have an original PSP. That was one of the few gaming consoles that I actually used a lot. I would take it to work with me, and then on my lunch break, I would sit there and play pinball or whatever. I would take it on planes with me. This is like, Mike, what was that thing? Remember when we were at CES, they had a thing where you could add like a graphics card and then stream your Steam games to like another device in the room. You remember what I'm talking about? I think it was part of Steam OS or what is that other thing?
The Steam Deck.
Wasn't it?
It was pre-Steam Deck. This was long before the Steam Deck. But it was basically a relay, so you could play on other devices or in other rooms across your network. This is essentially that. It's just wireless because those old versions had to be wired. I don't know.
The Steam Link.
Yeah, Steam Link. That at least made sense because I think, but still. Oh, that I remember. That allowed you to play it on your TV when Steam was running on your PC. This is like the opposite. Yeah, I don't know. Come on, Sony.
Well, here's the thing. It's only $200. Now, you hear me say that, but here's the thing. The cost of everything has gotten expensive. $200 sounds cheap.
But the thing is, you still have to have a PS5.
If you already have a PS5, then you have $200 spent.
If you already have a PS5, you don't need it.
Agreed, but you've got extra money in your pocket, and Sony wants that money, so they say, "Give us $200, we'll give you a controller."
Spend the money, take that $200 and buy yourself an 8 terabyte M2 card that the PS5 is now able to support.
Yeah, that's
That's
good idea.
money spend your money in the right place.
Fair enough, but again, they probably already have done that because these people have extra.
Well,
money.
no, I think I read it's just happening now.
But fair enough. Yeah,
so
but
that's what I'm saying is you have two options in front of you. You can now go up to 8 terabytes, or for the same price get a weird thing
right.
that does you no good.
The people who have PS5s and are really into it and have already have the PSVR, which costs more than the PS5 and also requires it. This is exactly for them. This is for that person who's like, yes, give me more PS5 stuff so I can keep playing my PS5 while I'm PS5ing with my PS5.
Okay.
And if it can let you do it over the internet, then if you can find decent internet somewhere, you can play it somewhere else, remote play. It's just like we talk about the remote play with other things, but that depends on how good your home internet is and the Wi-Fi from where you are. So,
yeah, I can guarantee you it won't be at a McDonald's.
I got one more story for you guys. You ready?
Okay.
Samsung has released their biggest TV yet. It is 98 inches and it's $10,000. Samsung has just announced their QN9900C Neo QLED 8K TV. It comes in multiple sizes, including their 98-inch model for $10K. And it is available for you to go get. Actually, no, I think it's looking at. We got it at one of those expos, CDI.
So my question is, what makes this special? Because I know Samsung has had 120-inch TVs before.
I think this is their first 8K TV.
Mike, wasn't the Wall 8K? Remember the Wall? That everybody was like, you got to go see it. And we looked at it and went,
was it actually for sale?
I don't know. I believe so, but I don't know. I'm just curious what is so special about this 198 that it's standalone. I don't know. What were you going to say?
I do know that there have been bigger ones at CES, not counting things like the OLED wall that was it Sony or was it Samsung?
No, it was Samsung.
It was Samsung, yeah. Or the LG OLED walls and stuff, right? So the biggest I think we've seen 110-inch probably was the biggest. So yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what the deal about this is, except that $10,000, while incredibly exorbitant for most people, is within reach of a moderate number of people, right?
This world has come to an interesting place.
That 110-inch TV, I think, was like 80 grand.
Right.
So, I mean, like that's out of the reach of pretty close to anybody. That's 1%er kind of money right there. To be able to spend a very nice car payment on it, right?
No kidding.
Not payment, but buy a nice car for the cost of your TV. So, I mean, I think that's intriguing. It will actually attract some people, a decent chunk of people. I'm certainly not one of them. I don't have a house that's big enough to justify a 98-inch TV. I got a 65-inch TV and it's plenty big.
I'm pretty sure the ceiling space above your bed would house it with no issue. I mean, what else is cluttering up your ceiling?
I mean, I'm not saying there's no place I could put it. I'm just saying, like, you don't need that big of a TV unless you're going to be kind of far back from it. This is kind of my view. If you're sitting in a standard room where you're 10 to 15 feet from the TV, 75 inches is going to be plenty. You don't need
Okay.
to go all the way up to
Yeah,
98.
so I'm guessing. So I've been mulling this over, and I think the only reason this is unique is because it's 8K, because it's the biggest 8K TV from Samsung that's been commercially. Because I was thinking of 4K like QLED TVs or OLED TVs, which I know exist, like Hisense. Hisense has a 120-inch QLED TV, but
not 8K.
But yeah,
Finally
so
becoming a thing.
8K being commercially available. Okay, I can see that, but
8K
they
at 10K at 10 grand is also that makes it even seem more reasonable, right? And I mean, my statement about at 10 to 15 feet, 75 inches is plenty big. Part of that is a resolution thing, right? So 4K will look really great on a 75-inch screen at 10 feet, maybe even at 15 feet. But you get up to 98 inches, 10 feet is going to be too close on 4K.
So let me ask you, I'm going to give you two options. So $10,000, you can have a 98-inch 8K TV.
Okay.
Or for just shy of $4,000, you can have a 98-inch UHD QLED TV.
I know my answer.
What size did you say?
Same size, 98-inch.
Same size. Oh, I'll take the 4K.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna watch on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is there's yet to be enough content for it, and by the time there's content,
there's like I would argue there's yet to be any content for it that wasn't pre-made for use at CES.
Right, and by the time the content does actually show up for it, you could have bought it for a lot cheaper.
Exactly.
So, yes, wait for the content to arrive, people.
Yeah, just get the 90. If you want a 98-inch TV, TCL makes a decent 98-inch QLED. So, and it's even got Google TV built into it.
Some people would say that's a feature.
Yeah, I would say over the whatever Tizen BS
Yeah.
Or Bixby BS Samsung crammed in there.
Good point. I would agree in that case. Yes. Actually, I on my vacation, I came across a Amazon TV in the wild.
So you saw a Hisense TV.
I think it was a Hisense. I can't remember. All I have to say is the interface was so slow, it was unusable.
That's why
it was horrible. I couldn't believe it was
they're
so
bad that Hisense wouldn't even put their name on it.
Oh,
you could tell it was a Hisense TV because when you look at the Hisense TVs next to it, they're literally the same everything. It's just the Amazon one doesn't have the.
But by Amazon, I think it was actually branded Hisense. It just was an older one. I think it was a smaller one. Is like maybe 32 inches. A little thing. It was in our. It was in our. I was going to say
because when Amazon launched their own TVs, they were just branded Amazon, but you could totally tell that's the same. That's a Hisense TV. Right. Because they had the little design cues that inform that. But yeah, see, and that's why I'm not a fan of. I don't mind if there's a smart platform built in to use, as long as using the TV
is responsive.
Well, I was going to say, as long as using the TV isn't tied to that smart thing.
Right.
Because if you have to navigate through, and that's one of the problems I have with LG and Samsung TVs typically, when they have their own thing and it's all baked together. It's not separate.
I have no problem when it's baked together if it's responsive. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm perfectly happy with a Roku TV because it's got all that built in. But the Roku's interface is so simple. I mean, so simple that most people are like, "Oh God, it's Roku." But I'm like, "Yes, it's Roku. It's gonna work. Yay!" So great.
But yeah, because nah, it's the TV VCR all over again.
Oh,
So just for your information, though, Clyde, I recorded a little bit of our show in 8K, so you can release it in 8K,
Oh,
and
sweet.
there will be 8K content.
All right.
I think that's how it works, right? As long as it's 8K on my phone,
Yes.
and I'm
exclusive 8K
taking a
content.
video of the screen, that'll work, right?
Yep.
Nice upscaling. Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be able to see the pixels.
But I
Great.
mean, the Samsung's S20 and newer all have 8K video recording capability. So you
I
can
can
make
do
your own
8K with my
videos.
S20.
Yeah. At least the S20 Ultra.
I've got that S20 like SE or whatever the
Probably not
special edition.
Probably not then. That one's the cheap one.
No. This was the highest one at the time.
Oh.
According to Wikipedia, you could.
Okay.
Nice.
I definitely can on mine. I did pull it up and hit record in 8K. I got to switch it back before I forget and try to record something and fill my phone all the way up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's the FE, I think the fan edition.
Yeah.
FE.
But yeah. So I mean, you can make your own content. 8K is not out of sight, but it isn't here yet.
No. I mean, we're in the same place we were 10 years ago when they were talking about 4K.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah, when we first started this podcast, we were like, there's no reason to have a 4K TV.
But
no
even at that point, we were starting to get content, but we weren't fully there yet. We're not even to that point with 8K yet. Yeah. We're at the like couple years before the show started when 4K was out there.
As long as you could really buy one. Like the demo video at Costco, then you're good. But if you want to watch something else, yeah.
All right.
Speaking of watching stuff, why don't we get into our rant and our rave?
Yeah.
All right. This week, rants and raves, we decided to watch One Piece. And no, not the anime series that has been running for nearly 23 years. Oh, I guess nearly 25 years. This is the live action adaptation on Netflix. Did everybody watch it?
I watched about half of the season.
So we got one episode from Mike. We've got half the season from the disembodied voice of Matt.
My broken camera. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm going to go. Let me just start this off real quick because I'm going to put this into context. None of you have watched the anime, right?
I have not.
Okay. I know you recently just learned about the anime, Mike. I have it took me over 20 years to fight my way through the number of episodes that were covered in the first couple episodes of this thing. Literally, I absolutely hate the One Piece anime. It is the epitome of the thing that I hate, where they take a stupid thing and drag it out over multiple episodes, like Dragon Ball, where a single fight takes an entire season. And that's not like stupid 8-episode seasons. This is 23 to 54 episodes
Right.
for one freaking fight. No, that is stupid. Well, that's what One Piece does.
Okay.
I ended up watching so it took me 20 years to get through the amount of content that is covered in the first couple episodes of. I watched the entire Netflix series. I
Good job.
completed it. All 8 or 10 episodes, whatever it was, I completed all of it. So
All right.
that right there should be a glowing endorsement.
It
Yeah.
definitely is, sir.
Uh,
What did you guys think?
So, as you indicate, I thought it was new. I had never heard of One Piece at all until probably sometime around the pandemic. So, within the last 3 years for sure. And I used to watch anime, though I probably stopped watching anime about the time this came out, right? I watched it in high school. The classics like that are things that are classics now, like Akira and Ghost in the Shell and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. But I kind of stopped watching it more or less when I got out of high school. My friends that were providing all the content moved away and stuff. So I got out of the space, and then I started hearing about this just like everywhere about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And I thought it was brand new. So I'm totally floored that this is like thousands of episodes of anime and decades of content.
For 20 some years, pretty much. And every season is around 50 episodes.
All I gotta say is I knew of its existence before I started watching as I've said before in the past, when I get into a show like an anime in particular, it can suck me in, and it becomes difficult for me to stop watching. Which is why when I was asked about this with my friends, and we're gonna watch One Piece tonight. I said, oh, cool, what's that? It's an anime. It's about pirates. Oh, cool. Tell me about it. It's got over 1,000 episodes, and I said, I'm out.
So, that being said, what did you guys think about the show on Netflix?
I love Luffy.
Really?
Luffy is amazing.
I don't know what Luffy is.
Luffy is
the character. Do.
He's the character who wears the straw hat.
In the very first episode, he says, I'm Monkey D. Luffy.
And I'm going to be the king of the pirates. I love how this show sets up the world so well. It basically, it's like, okay, this is a world where there's lots of people on ships. There's islands all over the place. Great. Oh, by the way, there's this great treasure out there. And and just before they execute the guy, he said, if you find it, it's yours, which makes everybody go nuts. And so the world is all set for this entire, everybody's looking for this thing. And I love it. It sets this great pace for what the whole world is about. And it's great for having this story. Luffy himself is so genuine and so believing in himself. He's so refreshing in so many ways, I have to say. He asks the right questions, he says the right things. He's absolutely fun. Although there's flashbacks to him being a kid, he's a brat.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I'm still learning the names of the characters. I'll have to hear them for probably 5 or 6 episodes before I remember them.
Well, there's only a couple characters. You've only watched one episode.
Right.
Well, I'm horrible with names, so it might take me a while to figure out. Now
He's still learning his child's name.
Yeah, I do have trouble. I call them the wrong names all the time. But yeah, I think that was one of the things that stood out to me as well. Like like him as a person, he just seems so likable is not the right word because
He's an idiot. He's a lovable idiot.
there you go. That's exactly it. Thank you. Yeah, he's a lovable idiot, a good person.
I say that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally his character archetype.
Yeah.
I will say I have always liked the concept of this show. It was the execution of the anime that drove me crazy.
Now, one of the things about the anime, my understanding is that it often had different styles of animation for like different characters and things like that. Is that true?
I guess you could say that. I think it was that's more in like different seasons have different styles because I'm pretty sure it's been produced by multiple companies over the years and different directors have different visions, but I can't really speak to that. I've managed to force my way to like 160 something episodes, so that's like season 3. But what I was gonna say is I like most of the characters. I like the concept of the show, but the anime was always too slow. To put things into perspective, the first episode spans 5 to 10 episodes from the anime. And the fact that it did that, I really enjoyed it because it became a actually coherent story that you can get interested and see a payoff. I do have minor gripes because there are story elements that were changed. Like, we're not supposed to meet Nami until at least episode 2 or 3. But I mean, whatever. I'll let it go. Yeah, there are things that I noticed that were kind of irritating, but for the most part, I like the I like the actors that they cast. I like the style. It's got a lot of the stuff that I really loved about the Cowboy Bebop live adaptation. I'm not usually a fan of live adaptations, but
so far you have said that they've done well on both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you, I will say I'm probably one of the biggest critics against adaptations of anything. And if you got me on your side, number one, I apologize because people are gonna hate it without watching it. But also, you clearly did something good. Yeah.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, from me, this not having seen the other stuff at all, it just absolutely pulled me in
Good.
from the very beginning. If I could have convinced you all to record this tomorrow, I would have, and I would have just watched all night long. But thank you for not doing that because now I'll actually get some sleep. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more beyond episode 1. I want to talk about the so in this story immediately, episode 1 introduced you into various famous pirates. The first one that introduced you to is a swan boat with a heart sail.
Alvida.
Yeah, well, I didn't know her name. All I know is that she was, absolutely just kind of an interesting archetype for a character. But she's there just to basically introduce another character for us, which is great.
Actually, it's funny that you bring her up because I feel bad for that actress.
Yeah,
because Alvida goes away for a couple seasons. And when she comes back, she is super tall and super gorgeous.
Oh,
And which means I think the run is done for that actress.
oh, okay.
Unless because and it's part of the story why she changed.
Right.
Spoilers, there may be a devil fruit involved. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you've got so in the first few episodes, they feature Alvida, Gold Roger, you've got Shanks. What
And you
else?
have my
Captain
favorite-
Buggy. Have you gotten
my
Captain Buggy
favorite.
yet?
Captain Buggy is my favorite. Or at least the portrayal of him is by this character.
No. I was gonna say Captain
Oh, God.
Buggy is even better in the anime.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So
Unfortunately, you have to watch the anime to get that,
Well,
which I do not recommend.
Well, since I have not seen the anime, the
Yeah.
adaptation of this character by this actor in this series, I felt was amazing. At first, when I was watching this, I said, "Is that Ben Stiller?"
Mm.
I'm not sorry. Is that Ben? No, it's not. It's an actor named Jeff Ward, and he's excellent in this role. I have to say, I absolutely love him. He is a wonderful,
And
wonderful
and
character.
maybe we'll talk about it after because it's kind of spoiler, but one of the inconsistencies that really drove me crazy happens in the Buggy arc.
Mm.
And it's like, he calls out something specific, but then when it happens to him, all of a sudden the rules are changed. Something that wouldn't have slid in the anime. They're very, very strict to the
There's
rules. But
always so much that you have to
yeah.
adapt a little bit. So
And I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you recommend this?
so I basically said to my wife, I have to watch One Piece, at which point she said, "Oh, that weird show that's on Netflix?" And I said, "Yeah, it's based off an anime." And she goes, "Oh, okay, you enjoy." And then she came across me watching it and she's like, "Huh, it actually looks good." I said, "Yeah, it actually is." So yes, I would recommend this. Absolutely. This is fun.
I actually did recommend it when you suggested it. I said yes, I would probably, and going forward, I would say give it a try. Definitely.
Yeah,
Mike?
I'm on board the same. I would recommend it. Maybe not universally.
Oh no,
But-
nothing is a universal recommendation.
Exactly. But I would say most people would probably enjoy it, at least what season one contains.
Let me
That's
ask you, would my mother enjoy this?
I don't know.
Well,
So
you got to
since I don't know your
configure.
mother-
You got to figure she's my mother, so
Yes, yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I can say with confidence, my mother would not.
Well,
She doesn't like pirates.
None the
Oh, she
worse.
doesn't like a lot of things.
Well,
You heard it here. Mike's mom doesn't like a lot of things.
Aw. I want to touch on that on the pirates thing for a little
Uh-huh.
bit, for just a second. Before this, the most recent big pirates movie was Pirates of the Caribbean. I would say.
Okay.
I would say before
It
this,
wasn't the Tom Hanks movie, I'm the Captain Now?
no, don't think of that. I don't think of that one as a pirate movie. Although that's not.
We did watch the pirate movie.
That's right, we did, but that was way before this one that came out. That's true. No.
No, there was that animated The Pirates movie.
geez.
That one was
No.
funny. That was like Wallace and Gromit people, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That did come up, but it completely slipped my mind. I'd not thought of that.
Yeah, that was 2012.
I really think that they did a real good job of making pirates fun in this show. And I was worried it would be a slog. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, the reason why I like it so much as a movie is it actually made pirates fun. A little bit of creepy and spooky because that was the thing of it. This one, it's more fun. It's more exciting kind of thing.
Okay.
So I really enjoy this world. I think this is great. So,
did you ever watch Black Sails?
I watched a little bit of Black Sails. That's with what's his name as the pirate?
Toby Stevens,
no,
Zach
who's the-
McGowan. No,
I'm trying to think of.
because that was 2014, and that had 4
Maybe I'm thinking-
seasons.
No, maybe I'm thinking something else. What was the name of that actor?
I
John
don't know.
Malkovich.
Oh no. John Malkovich isn't in Black Sails. But yeah, I mean, because that was a pirate TV show, and it was
Crossbones.
gritty, and I guess it was. Oh, it's a I didn't know it was a prequel to the classic novel Treasure Island.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that
I-
either. I might actually go back and try and finish watching it.
No, I watched part of the first season of Crossbones, which does star John Malkovich.
Oh, also, last year we had one of the greatest pirate TV shows ever. Our Flag Means Death.
That's I have not yet come around to watching, but I
dude.
know it's one of those things I'm holding on
It's
to
Taika
for when I need
Waititi.
it. I know. There's a lot of Taika Waititi that I've been holding on to when it's like one of those weeks where I'm like alone and nobody else is in the house and I watch them by myself.
It's Taika Waititi and Reese Darby. Reese Darby alone should be enough to make anybody watch this.
All right.
I'm not a fan of some of the directions the story goes, but as a whole, it's wonderful. So I guess we're into the section where we talk about what do we want to watch next week?
Ooh. Now I saw some chatter
Hmm?
that maybe we've gotten some people requesting us to watch a certain thing.
Oh,
Did I not see something about somebody asking us to rewatch a show?
oh, well, we got an update because we asked if we should commit to a starting from the beginning of Futurama and doing a watch through.
Right.
So I've only heard from a couple people at this point, which consensus seems to be yes. It's not something that we have to start right away.
Okay.
But definitely we can still put that out there. If you're interested and you want us to do it, let us know. Also, I want to know, should we just talk about it here on the podcast, or should it be a dedicated, separate entity altogether? Because there may be some people listening to the podcast that really do not want to hear us talk about, let us know. So we know how to cater to everybody the right way. But
what should we watch next week otherwise?
yeah, what should we watch?
I do not know yet.
Did you ever watch any of the Wheel of Time, Clyde?
Yeah,
Matt?
I watched the whole first season. Second season is absolute garbage. I think I got through the first episode and I gave up.
Okay, because that's what I was gonna say. Is I haven't seen any of the second season. I liked the first season. You hated the first season. Mhm.
So that means you might like the second season. But then again, it took me a month to get through the first episode of the first season, and I thought it got better as it went along.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if
no.
you slogged through episode 2 if you'd like it better.
Let me look real quick. Oh, while Matt can speak to whether or not he's willing.
I have not watched either the first season or the second season of that.
Okay.
So if I jumped in second season, that would be interesting.
No, you can't on this one. Absolutely not.
Oh man.
I watched the first season and I was still completely lost when they started the second season. It was WTF Central.
We may have to just do like a sidebar with the two of us next week, because unless Matt wants to target 2 or 3 weeks from now and watch all of or try to watch the first, maybe you'll get 2 episodes in and be like, no.
Okay. So I just looked. I did not make it through the first episode yet. I've tried several times. You want to guess how much is complete of the first
30 minutes?
The bar is this long. I've completed this much.
No tiny.
Oh. So you couldn't even get through the intro.
I don't even think I made it to a quarter. And I was actually excited for it because like I said, I enjoyed the first season. I don't think I want to subject anybody to that. Even Amazon was like, we don't know what we did with this. I don't know. What
season 1, you mean?
No,
Or-
I mean, yeah, after season 1, there was a lot of so much criticism. Even Amazon was like,
They've already re-upped it for season 3.
yeah, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I think they're like in a position where they're like, we don't really have a choice. I don't know.
I don't understand
I don't know.
I understand. I don't understand any part of it. Like, after season 1, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had just dumped it, because it was a dumpster fire, in the opinion of
That's what I'm.
most
Yeah.
readers. I believe most readers felt it was a dumpster.
As a not reader, I thought season 1 was fine. Once I got past the like wall of text in the form of people talking.
Yeah.
Once I got past all that, and then there was actually some story, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think it's. I can understand why somebody that hasn't read the books
Mhm.
would be okay with it. It's not that the story and the show is outright awful, but what it does to the story and to the characters is, in my opinion, a complete travesty. There are a couple of characters that get absolutely destroyed in this in season 1, and I would say that maybe I'm on the harsher side of the criticism, but I'm on the same side of the criticism of almost all readers. And so I don't understand how it's got 3 seasons guaranteed.
That's what I said. I think they got themselves in some sort of bind where they had already committed, and then they found out what everybody was saying. They're like,
Yeah, they signed a contract that basically forced them to release a certain amount or something. I don't know, but man, I feel like it can only go uphill from here. But that's being maybe overly optimistic, because you can obviously continue to butcher a series as time goes on. I don't know why you would do it.
I have a suggestion for a show. It's a horrible suggestion. I'm only asking for you to watch 1 episode, and only 1. Then we can make a decision right then and there.
Okay.
Twisted Metal.
oh, I love Twisted Metal.
Oh,
No, Twisted Metal was amazing. I thought we talked about this offline. Yeah, no, absolutely. If you guys can watch it, you need to watch it.
okay. What is? I think that's Amazon, isn't it?
Peacock.
No, it's Peacock.
Oh, it's Peacock. Okay.
It
Yeah.
was wonderful.
Okay.
Every freaking minute of that show is perfect.
Okay, well,
And if you like clown guys, if you like Buggy, oh wait, yeah, I got a guy for you.
okay, well, I think I will commit to at least a single episode of that.
I think if you can, I think you're gonna like episode 1. I think we need to get to episode 2.
Okay, so you're asking for episode 2?
I think so, because the first episode is setting up the world.
Okay.
And then I'm pulling up Peacock now. Because I want to see the title names. Because when he gets to Vegas is when the story just becomes amazing.
Okay.
Because that's when you meet Sweets. Or what was his name? I can't think of his name. Sweet Tooth. Yeah, Sweet Tooth.
How do I remember that from that game from like the early 90s? How do I remember that? Oh God.
Yep. Try to get through episode 2.
Okay. What do you think, Mike? Do you think that we can get through 2 episodes of the show?
I will
watch 1 at the very least, but
I will
if you
commit
can
to 1.
Mhm.
I actually still, I just realized I still have a Peacock subscription, apparently. I don't know why or when I signed up for that.
It was for this show.
Yeah, I just don't remember when. It was like, I hope it wasn't too long ago because I haven't used it in a long time.
Can I just say, anybody that says there has never been a good adaptation of a video game, there has now.
Well, we'll see now. Well, we'll see.
Oh.
I am willing to. The reason why I picked it because I knew it is a show that most people have a visceral reaction for one way or another.
When I first saw it, I said, why? And then I watched it and I said, how did this take so long? And how is there not more?
All right.
Also, it marks the return of Nev Campbell.
No.
I mean, it seems the tomato meter gives it a 68. The audience score gives it a 94. So
this show is wonderful.
With thousands of ratings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
All right.
So
I would be happy to prove, this is a good show. If it's a good show, let's do it. I'm just going through what's new, and I saw that one. It's like, oh, come on, we have to do that one.
Yes.
One way or another.
All righty. Hey, real quick, since we've got that figured out, you guys want to do a quick quiz?
Oh, yes, I do.
I got a quiz for you.
Okay.
So, as we established last week, I am using ChatGPT to create things in the vein of other things. And this time I chose shark horror movies. So all you need to do is tell me, I'll give you the title of a movie. You tell me if it's a real movie or a bad movie. And I specifically asked it to do bad movies so that
right, because there are so many bad shark movies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. So there is no jars, no jaws. There is no open water Jars. Or
why
Deep
isn't there
Blue.
a shark movie called Jars? There should be.
Just wait. There might be. I might have accidentally been reading off the. So
it's got that music dun, 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 and there's a person there just cannot open that jar. It's just so hard, and the music is playing. It's just I can't open this jar, and then it breaks in,
and it opens up and it plays. What was that Jars of Clay song from like '96?
Sure.
And it's like no. All right. Okay.
All right.
If you're ready, first
I
one.
am.
House shark.
All right, House Shark.
Is this a real movie or a fake movie?
I think this is obviously an adaptation of your standard living at home person, has to deal with living with, cleaning the dishes and picking up after the toddlers and having to deal with the stuff. This is what the shark has to do. Sharks don't get any love. They're busy if they stand still, they die. So, they're always busy. That's horrible for them. Obviously this is a absolutely a true show about how sharks are in their social lives and home lives, and how it's how they have I think it's real. I think it's real.
Mike?
I'm going no.
All right. This is in fact a real movie, but you're wrong. The shark is the house.
Oh.
So yes, House Shark is a real movie. So that's just a primer of what we're playing with.
I know. Oh, come on, I was having fun.
Second one. Jersey Shore Shark Attack.
I am writing that down in my score sheet. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, I'm keeping score. Don't worry about it.
I am not searching on the internet. I think.
Well, we can't see you. You're a disembodied voice.
Yeah, I know. Good point. I'm sorry. I broke my webcam. I apologize. Anyways, no, it's this one. I am almost certain I've heard of this one. I think it's real.
Okay.
I agree. I believe it's real.
And it is real. We watched it last week, last movie party.
Jersey Shore Shark Attack, right?
Yes. And it is a straight up Jersey Shore parody. It is wonderful. And somebody makes an appearance.
What?
Joey Fatone. Joey Fatone makes a cameo, and it is brilliant. I don't think I've ever have the words Joey Fatone and brilliant come out of my mouth at the same time until now. All right. Shark Exorcist.
Shark Exorcist. This has to be real. I'm sorry, but there are so many Exorcist movies and there are so many Sharks movies that there has to be a Venn diagram where these two things meet. I'm sorry. This is too much of a possibility in the world that those two words have not been in a movie with those two titles.
Okay.
This one has to have existed because that a Shark Exorcist movie has to exist only because if it hasn't, it will be made within the next 5 years. I'm certain because it has to be real.
So I want to disagree with you because I don't want to keep saying the same thing you are, but I mean, your logic is so sound. Like it just doesn't seem possible that this diagram hasn't overlapped.
Crossover.
And this is a movie that we have also watched in movie party. And to the summary, there is a shark possessed by a demon in a lake.
In a lake, yeah. And, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed the lake part, but I assumed that
it was a wonderfully terrible movie.
All right.
Okay. Hammerhead Shark Frenzy. It's Hammerhead : Shark Frenzy.
All right. I have a technical question.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a movie out there called Hammerhead, but isn't : Shark Frenzy, and it's about sharks, is it? And let's say your AI bot generated this, would it still be?
I guarantee there's no conflict.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think this is our first fake.
Okay.
I agree. I don't think this is real.
Okay. This is indeed a real movie.
I'm seeing a pattern here, sir. I'm seeing a pattern emerge here, sir.
You just gotta wait for it. Close Encounters of the Shark Kind.
They all can't be real, right? That's the thing. They can't all be real. So the question is this the fake one or not? You know what? Man, no, I'm sorry, I'm calling this one fake. I don't see the guys who own Close Encounters allowing this out. Although
But
who says
you
that?
got to remember, you can't copyright Close Encounters.
Yeah, I suppose not.
And Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a technical. It's not a.
You're right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go real because they've all been real. So this is so likely. Again, it's kind of fits in to the exorcism thing. Like, yeah,
playing the
real.
meta
This
game.
is indeed a real movie.
Yeah.
You end up with a shark in space. We haven't watched it yet, but it's on our list.
So we're tied. We're tied up now.
Yep.
We've each missed one.
Super Shark.
I'm going to say this one is actually real.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's. How could it not be? I mean, come on.
It is. It is real. Sky Sharks.
Oh, Sky Sharks.
I mean,
I'm trying to imagine this.
Yeah, this movie is it's a horrible breed of mixed sharks that bred with flying fish, and now you got flying sharks, and so they jump out of the water and they can attack you from the air. It's Sky Sharks. This has got to be. Okay. I'm gonna. I said the question is, are you playing the game where this is all real? That's really the only question in my brain at this point. Are you doing that? Calling it fake.
Calling it
I'm
fake?
calling it real. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Real.
All right. Well, Sky Sharks is actually one of my favorite movies. Nazi zombies weaponizing sharks and flying them around. This movie, we watched it as when it finally released, and it ended up being way better than it deserves to be. It is a wonderful movie.
The
Okay.
tagline: "The sea is for fish, the sky is for sharks."
If you've never seen it, when we're done with this, go look up the trailer for Sky Sharks.
Okay.
And it's yes.
It's even an HD trailer.
Mm-hmm. Because it only came out a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Mako.
It's something special there.
Mako. The Jaws of Death.
This sounds like a documentary.
No.
Seriously.
The documentary was Mako, MAACO, where you get your car painted for like $100. That's the Mako Jaws of Death, and the horrible working conditions.
No, Mako, the Jaws of Death. I think this one is real.
Okay, Mike.
So, I am 98% certain that there is a horror show called Mako. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Yes, this is a real movie.
Okay.
Avalanche sharks.
Really?
I repeat, avalanche sharks.
So, okay, if I were to speculate what this movie is about, it's about sharks that were stuck in a glacier, and they've been frozen there for millennia. And these are ancient prehistoric sharks, the worst kind.
pirate sharks?
Pirate shark. Well, no.
Oh,
That's another-
dude,
another-
I'm in. What if they're pirate sharks? Are there
And-
also going to be ninja sharks?
and zombie sharks too. Why not? No. But there's these. So these sharks are have been frozen in the glacier for millennia, and of course, some idiot accidentally, does something to
And
cause
Aaron
an avalanche.
Yodelehi who?
Yeah, and and coming from the mountaintops are these monstrous extra rows of teeth. I know sharks already have extra rows of teeth, but even more extra rows of teeth.
Yeah.
Prehistoric sharks coming down the avalanche. This is such an awesome idea.
So let me ask you:
I'm gonna say it's
Is
false.
that a real? Is that a real thing,
I
or
think
is it fake?
I think it's fake.
Mike?
Most of these, I've had a pretty good inkling that they were true. This one, I don't feel like I've ever heard of it. So I'm going to go fake as well.
This
So
one was a
here-
TV movie, but it is indeed a real thing. An
Yeah.
avalanche with sharks in it eating people.
Was it like I would have said they were in a glacier?
I haven't gotten around to watching that one. All I know is it was a Canadian production. I would think it was made for like sci-fi,
Okay.
because like all the stuff for sci-fi is made in Canada.
Right.
Sharks of the Corn.
What?
Sharks of the Corn.
So children of the corn, but take out the children and put in sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Corn, which grows on land. These must be land sharks.
Yes.
I'm calling this one fake.
I'm going to go fake as well.
It is real.
What?
Written by Stephen Kang, K-A-N-G. We watched this, I think, last year. It takes place in Iowa. It is a real. And I will leave you with one more. One more. Trailer Park Shark.
Okay, so every single answer thus far has been real,
Mm-hmm.
which means one of two things has happened. Either he's pulling our leg and he didn't actually come up with any AI generated ones because there's just too many damn good, awesome shark movies out there with crazy names that you would think might be generated. Or this is the one that he did bring up and it's like, all right, we'll throw that one in with all these and we'll just mess it up. So the question is, Trailer Park Shark, is that a real movie? Is it the kind of thing that, so no, I'm sorry. I think Poodle, I think you're committed to this. I think these were all real. I'm saying this one is real only because I think
Okay.
you're messing with us. I have no idea otherwise.
I'm going to say it is not real. And here's my theory. My theory is Clyde isn't pulling our leg. He did actually put them into ChatGPT, but even an AI couldn't come up with names of shark movies that haven't actually been made.
Okay. And this is like
So,
the one that came out.
This is the one where it
the diamond
actually
in the rough.
truly wasn't made. So
Okay, so
that's my
He's fake. Okay.
All right. Well, this one was real. And let me tell you, you were close. I did generate 10 movies. The problem is they aren't as ridiculous as as ridiculous as the movies. And it's more fun to torture you with real terrible names. Like here, I'll read you a couple.
Okay. Yeah.
Jaws of the Abyss.
Okay.
Blood Tide, Shark Cult.
Oh, come on. That's great.
It is, but
It's not
it's
Hammerhead
not a
Shark.
house shark.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, I
avalanche.
mean,
Reef of Desolation. It
Yeah.
did do a Sharknado Unleashed,
Nice.
which is not actually a Sharknado movie, which I
Not
will
yet.
give it credit for that one. Carnivore Cove, Blood Surf, Shark's Domain. Oh, this one. Terror Beach, Finn's Revenge. The Depths Below. Silent Hunter, Symphony of Fear.
Ooh, I
And
like that
Shark's
one.
End, Sub-Zero Nightmare. Every single one of these movies I want to watch.
Yeah,
But
I
they're
think
all respectable. Yeah.
those are better, more reasonable movie titles than any of the ones you used. So I completely concur with you on that. I had heard of a good number of those. To be fair, a lot of those that I'd heard from you
Mhm.
related to Movie Party, but I had heard of a good number of them. But those last few, those were really special names.
I will say, Sharks of the Corn is a movie. And I don't even feel comfortable calling it that. That one, I don't know. Stephen Kang needs help. But yeah. That was a bunch of actual shark movies. So
I do believe, Mike, you won.
no, you guys tied.
Yeah, because I got the
6
last
to
one.
6.
I went against you.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yep.
So I'm tabulating it up. I have a thing to count it for me because counting, I don't math.
Yeah,
Math's bad. Not
I
once,
used a
not ever.
spreadsheet.
I have a spreadsheet.
I tried not to metagame it too much. I felt about halfway through, I started to feel that Clyde had actually just used real movies, but I didn't want to just like metagame it that way. So I went by what I thought from the titles.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, unless we got anything else we need to do, we can probably call it for the night. And disembodied voice, Matt, thanks for hanging out.
We'll be happy to hang out with you guys.
Mike,
Bye.
thank you for hanging out. And we will catch everybody else next time.